This is podcast number 296. That is getting pretty close to 6 years of podcasts. And in those 6 years, with the exception of one day where I still made the Monday publication, but I didn't think about it until the afternoon, so that was pretty close. There hasn't been a single week when I haven't published on time the podcast. And so why is that important, and how does that help you, which is even more important? It's important because one of the things that a lot of people get hung up on in this process is procrastination. Most of the time, that is tied to fear. They're afraid to make calls. They're afraid of the next step. They're afraid, well, what happens when I talk to somebody? I've never talked to a big hitter before. And so you have choices to make. And one of the things that I saw when I did this podcast was an image which was basically a checklist. And if you want to see that image, I've included it in the beginning of this podcast as a thumbnail. But it's a woman, and she's got 5 boxes. The first one is now. The second one is tomorrow. Next one is someday. Next one is next week, next month, next year. Could be never as well, but she only goes between now and next month. And she's got a check mark, as you saw, in the now, and an X in the tomorrow, someday, next week, next month. And I'd encourage you to take action as soon as possible. There was another podcast I did, could have been a video, where I had a image which was someday is a day of the week, W-E-A-K, not W-E-E-K, W-E-A-K, week. And that's true. Someday is a day of the week, and it never comes. So I would encourage you to think about the things that you want to accomplish. Think about them in a time frame. Bring those back to daily activities that are a high priority for you to complete, and work that list. And if you get into the habit of doing that, just like the 296 podcasts that have been done by me, you're going to find that it just becomes a habit. You don't even think about it after a while. And when you get to that point, if you're working on the most important things, you will end up moving the ball down the field and hopefully across the goal line, if you're like most people that approach it with that kind of enthusiasm and that kind of dedication and self-discipline. So I'd encourage you to do that. Towards that end, if you're interested in the steps and don't know them, go over to brucewhipple.com. There's free materials there. There's a course Acquisition Advantage, which are the boot camp recordings. That's the best way to learn the steps. And as I mentioned, there are a couple of openings in the VIP Mastermind. Best program I do. If you want to talk to me about that and have gone through and understood what the financial and time commitments are to join that, then send me an email. We'll set up a time to talk. You'll see that it says sold out. That is because I like to talk to people before I include them in the VIP Mastermind to make sure they are a good fit. And that's important to me as well. And lastly, if you are interested in just how to get started with conversations, again, go over to brucewhipple.com. There's a free course there that'll give you templates for some initial discussions with board members, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to go there directly, just go to brucewhipple.com/free course. But yes, remember, and it's worth writing down as an affirmation, someday is a day of the week, W-E-A-K. Again, if you want that image, email me that and I'll send it to you. But also, remember to do it now. I've had a plaque on my desk for probably 30 years which says just that, do it now. So I hope that helps. I hope you take action and continue on with a renewed enthusiasm, discipline, and action with your business acquisition journey.